Hey lovely people, in the last video we explored the blighted catacombs in Marathis and recruited Tosh to our party. It seems like there's more to do in Ravane, so I'm going to have Rook hop back there to explore some more and learn more about the Lords of Fortune. Just as a side note, the Lords of Fortune was first mentioned in the short story Jinna TV Dies in the End in the To Winter Nights book. Also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet but have watched my previous content, please consider subscribing. Without further ado, let's play.
Usually have to dodge traps and fight spiders to see this much old elven stuff. Talk to Isabella if you want to sell any of it. She'll get you a good deal.
Spoken like a veteran treasure hunter.
Yep, for gold and glory. The lords make runs no one else can. Isabella's undies would catch fire if she saw all this.
I wish there were dialogue options like she wears undies or what color.
So why do the Lords of Fortune care enough about dragons to have a dedicated dragon hunter?
Lots of great old crap ends up in dragon hordes.
Why do dragons care about gathering treasure? It's not like they go to the market.
Dragons like metals and gems. Anything glittery catches their eye.
So they're like really large magpies?
Kinda. And they live for centuries. Lots of time to gather a bunch of shiny crap. Plus all the gear carried by idiots who thought they could kill a dragon.
Bet you deal with a lot of nasty traps during those treasure hunts.
Yep.
What's the most complicated one you've dealt with?
Old elven armory. Had letters on tiles. Probably supposed to spell out the name of a god or something.
Probably.
I don't read elven. Found handholds in the ceiling and swung across.
That sounds more like a puzzle than a trap.
Ugh. Puzzles.
But puzzles give you a chance to test your wits. To prove you're smart enough to beat whoever designed it.
Ugh.
I ran into one while traveling with Varric. It had these 3 poles with sets of different size rings on 2 of the poles.
And you had to move the rings over to the 3rd pole, and the rings had to be sized right and crap?
Yes. You've seen it.
That thing is Vashadan.
Feel free to use the ancient elven artifacts for weight training, but nothing leaves with you, okay?
Don't worry about that. The Lords of Fortune aren't thieves.
I mean, aren't you, though?
Nah. Anything we hunt is salvage. Old forgotten ruins and crap. And we make sure we're not screwing over a culture that lost it. That's what my mother does with the Kunari stuff.
So, your mother appraises Kunari artifacts the Lords of Fortune find?
Yeah. She tells them how rare something is. How much it might be worth. Also tells them if they found something cultural.
Cultural?
You know, important. Stuff you don't want going to some rich noble's collection. The lords send that stuff back to the Kunari in Parvalin. They pay the lords a finder's fee.
Parvalin, huh?
I hope the Lords of Fortune have a similar arrangement with the Dalish.
Yep. Dalish guy named Shiv. He tells us what's probably cursed and what's important to his people.
And Shiv doesn't mind your people robbing Dalish tombs?
We don't rob tombs. Only assholes rob tombs. We rob old armories and crap. Sometimes the Dalish warn us off a ruin. Sometimes they ask us for help getting in. The lords are good people. They helped my mother when she came here from Kantar. She got here with nothing but me and the clothes on her back. Only skill she had was Kunari history. The lords gave her work.
How does the Ravani Royal Guard feel about the Lords of Fortune?
They used to complain about us. But that was before the Antaam invaded Ravane.
And now Ravane sees the benefits of having a bunch of heavily armed people on their side.
Same for the pirate armada. It's bigger than Ravane's official navy. But we're also helping save old artifacts. The Antaam are burning ruins as they move south. We get artifacts out before the Antaam destroy them. Magical stuff. Cultural stuff. Stuff you don't want to lose.
We should do this again. Grab a drink. Share our tallest tales.
Okay, I was gonna go back to Ravane later. Got a thing to do for my mother. You can come along, if you want.
Do I need to be ready for combat? Or traps?
Nah.
All right. Just let me know when.
Abundance.
Ooh, enchantments. I'm going to speed through this process so we can return to Ravane for the next quest.
You're up late.
You're awake to notice.
Can't sleep. I know. I'm awake to ask.
I sleep when I can get it. And this place, it's too quiet for that.
Working with the Veil Jumpers, if things are loud, that's a problem. If they're bizarrely silent, also a problem.
So you like the right amount of quiet?
If I can find it. Okay, what works then? How do you sleep?
I don't know. Chase the right bastard through the wrong ritual? It'll knock you right out. Of course, you might wake up with a new accessory.
Did you get the bastard?
Yeah, I got him. It's not the quiet. I never could sleep once work gets in my head. But what's got you up at night?
When I close my eyes, I see everything the gods have done, but not what I should do next. I don't know what's going to happen.
You and me both. Restlessness catches. Get one person in a room nervous, the whole place twitches. One person can't sleep. It's only getting later. Get out while you can.
And if it's already too late?
Don't tell me you're a lost cause.
I might be.
I know the feeling.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying the pacing and dialogue of Nev's romance. I wonder if those wisps gets the subtle flirtation they are bantering about it among themselves. That would be weird.
Rook, I was thinking of taking Hassan for a walk. He could use the exercise. Chance to stretch his wings. Thought you'd like to come along.
I miss him.
Did I see you writing a message to the Inquisition? What's that about?
You know, Varric and I were part of the Inquisition, right? I'm trying to get news about the South. But Charter hasn't replied to any of my messages. I'm trying not to worry about what's happening there, but... No, it's probably fine. Charter's just busy. She's always busy.
Charter. Who's that?
She's the Inquisition's spy master. Or she would be, if there was still an Inquisition. I suppose she just works for the Inquisitor now?
This is where my world state about Inquisition kicks in.
I haven't heard much about the Inquisition in years.
Oh, that's intentional. When the breach was open, we needed a large group to stop Southern Thedas from falling into chaos. It's changed in the years since. We're a smaller force working underground to keep an eye on things going on in the world.
Sounds like my Inquisitor and his council was pretty active, even after disbanding the organization.
A spy master? She doesn't know things about me, does she? Do I need to worry?
Charter probably knows everything about you. Oh, but she's not going to use it against you. I mean, if you behave.
So how long were you with the Inquisition? 10 years?
Something like that. Why?
You must know the Inquisitor.
Well, yeah, we worked together. I wasn't part of the Inquisitor's inner circle, though. I spent more time with the ordinary people, the ones you didn't hear about.
So, tell me about these ordinary Inquisition members I haven't heard about.
The Inquisition hired hundreds, and most of them weren't Magisters or Ben Hasrith or the left hand of the Divine. There were scouts and stable hands, carpenters and cooks and quartermasters, even 2 dedicated pastry chefs. Most of them volunteered, like me. We wanted to help in whatever small way we could.
That was a short and sweet summary.
I've heard stories. Some of the older Veil Jumpers remember dealing with rifts.
Nothing like demon-spitting skyholes to bring people together, huh? I made friends. Rector, Faulkner, others.
Rector? Faulkner?
Liliana gave all her agents pseudonyms.
Right, like Charter.
Well, Charter's Charter, but when the other 2 and I were together, we were just Lace, Wilbur, and Katya.
But you did know people from the Inquisitor's inner circle, didn't you?
I knew them, sure, but those early days, all I wanted was to prove myself and not get in anyone's way. Some of them were more approachable than others. Sarah was a puppy with a new toy. 100 new toys. Fun, if you can handle the mess. She was really the only one who could make Rainier, well, Blackwall then, let down his guard. Otherwise, he kept to himself and stuck to the stables. We'd talk when I visited the horses. And there was Cole, of course.
The Spirit Boy?
Yep. I was just sitting on the walls one day, and he asked if he could join my game.
Like a card game?
Nah, just good old people watching. Must have seemed like a game to him somehow. We'd pick strangers out of the crowd and try to say something about them. Like, ooh, she heard the joke yesterday and she's still trying not to laugh. Or one of Cole's. His eyes remind her of the ones beneath her bed.
Who stores eyes under their bed? I'm partial to a nice wall display myself.
Well, that's one interpretation that never occurred to me. Thanks.
You're welcome. Wasn't Cole an empath? He must have been great at this game.
Ah, but the rule was you couldn't say anything you actually knew. He got it in the end. I think.
So you didn't ask him if you guessed right?
Well, being right wasn't the point. Making a habit of seeing people was. I think he liked that. It's why you don't miss.
And the Inquisitor's advisors, what about them?
Of all of them, I'd say Josephine is my favorite. She's lovely. She still sends me a box of handmade sweets from Val Royeaux every year on my name day. Cullen and I got along too, but he was always busy. He would have bad days from lyrium withdrawal sometimes, and I would share the tea that my ma sent. He's from Ferelden too. Maybe it reminded him of home.
What about Liliana? I heard she's intense.
I think she likes to cultivate that reputation. She's not nearly as terrifying as she sounds. Oh, I passed her in the Great Hall one day, and she suddenly turned and asked me if I wanted a nug.
A nug? Those small pink rodent things? What for?
She loved them and made a hobby of breeding them as pets.
So, did you take the nug?
No! What am I gonna do with a nug?
Do you miss it? The Inquisition, I mean.
It's hard to miss an organization. They're only as good as their people, don't you think? But I do miss my friends. We write each other, but it's not the same. And the Inquisition is different from what we've built here. Not better or worse, just different. It's special when you're among people working toward the same goal.
Not everyone. There was Solus. What did you really think of him back then?
Lonely. He always seemed lonely. It's hard not to be when you hold yourself above everyone else.
How do I respond to that?
He might be lonely, but I doubt he cares. He's single-minded. Nothing else matters besides his crusade.
Because it's the only thing he's had. My ma used to say, a caged dog forgets there's grass outside. Anyway, I'm sure something out there's on fire, and here I am rambling about the past. I should let you go. Talk later?
I chose Liliana for the role of the Divine when my ex-Templar was Inquisitor. I imagine Varric told Rook a bit about the Inquisition for them to know Cole and Liliana, but wanted to hear Harding's perspective of the inner workings of the Inquisition. Harding makes a good point by saying an organization is only as good as the people in it. The difference with the Veilguards, because there's really more than one in the group, compared to the Inquisition, is the lack of politicking.
Treviso's not ready to deal with the Blight. I know we had to make a choice when there weren't any good ones. Still can't imagine what Lucanus is going through.
No quest, but more guilt trip. Thanks, Bolera. As I was saying, enemies are far more delineated in this period of Armageddon than dealing with monarchies of Orlais and Ferelden or defend or literally fight against the philosophies of the Qunari and the Chantry. Rook doesn't serve as the judge, jury, and executioner either, so that's what I think is why the group of Veilguards is different than the Inquisition. There's a few touch points Harding stated that I think summarize the goal of the Inquisitor in a nutshell, and something Rook can learn from, such as making each person feel seen and drawing to the will and strength of the people who joined the cause. And finesse and diplomacy of sorts are still a necessity when it comes to gathering support. Oh, is this Tasha's room? It kind of makes sense to flank the doorway to a Lord of Fortune with ancient elven dragon statues. Another storage room?
Hey, you heard of the Hall of Valor? It's a fighting arena with the Lords.
Interesting.
Just tell me when you're ready.
Should I go there now or later? Helping the crows recover some supplies will regain trust with them, and Lucanus, I hope, to bring him back. I think I'll do that first.
I'm on it.
Aha! It is Tash who can detonate the Gatlocks. I need to bring her to Marathis and find all those Gatlocks to destroy.
Is there anywhere the Dreadwolf doesn't worm his way into?
Ravane is on pretty good terms with the Dalish clans. We get elven stuff here and there.
So, Tosh, you're the dragon hunter of this outfit.
Yep. And you do monsters.
Seems our work's going to overlap.
No, it's not. I handle dragons. You kill monsters. And darkspawn.
Dragons are monsters.
What? No, dragons are natural. Been around longer than we have. Darkspawn and monsters are just Vashidon that came later.
Fair enough, but I'll handle any archdemons we meet.
Davrin, not bad.
That's getting it done, Tosh!
Did Fenrirel's statue raise the skeletons? Or something else animated them because they're not blighted?
So, Tosh, you're the dragon hunter of this outfit.
Yep. And you do monsters.
Seems our work's going to overlap.
No, it's not. I handle dragons. You kill monsters. And darkspawn.
Dragons are monsters.
What? No, dragons are natural. Been around longer than we have. Darkspawn and monsters are just Vashidon that came later.
Fair enough, but I'll handle any archdemons we meet.
Fine. But I get to help. The Ravani Armada and the Antaam Navy have destroyed a lot of each other's ships. Good for salvagers, bad for sailors. Hey. Some for you. Some for you. Hey, don't be a dick. That was for the little one. Stupid birds.
Here, let me.
You gotta spread it out. Throw it out in a clump and they fight over it.
I know how to do it.
So do it. Sometimes I practice with the fire out here. It's safer. No people around. Lots of water.
Is it magic or...
It's not magic. My mother says the Kunari used to be closer to dragons. Something in our blood.
The Antaam called you a Dari?
Yeah. Old Kunari word for fire breather. A few like me are born every generation. My mother thinks Adari were meant for something special. She's always looking through the old texts for clues. Come on. Don't want to scare the birds. My mother left the Qun not far from here. She got herself transferred to Kontar from Parvalin. Smuggled me there and then walked out.
I thought Kontar was well fortified. How did she escape with a child?
The Qun isn't a prison. People can leave if they want.
Yeah, but why did Mom even need to smuggle Tash unless she thinks that the Qun would surely use the child as a weapon?
You little guys hungry?
Do you miss living under the Cune?
Not much to miss. I was a baby. My mother misses it. She was an Ashkari back then. A scholar.
Why'd she leave?
Me.
I'm noticing that my Rook has range of knowledge, but at the same time, doesn't know cultural specific things. Like, Rook doesn't know what Adar means, but knew Quintar was well fortified. I'm not sure if this is the same dialogue Rook get regardless of faction. So just for my first run through of Veilguard, I'll headcanon it that Kalen has keen knowledge of certain geographies for being a Veil jumper, or that he heard about Quintar from his fellow faction mates.
There's enough for all of you. Shathan was worried about what the Qunari would do with a fire breather like me.
What would they do?
She said they'd have me put in the Antaam, use me as a berserker. The idea scared her enough that she left her library and walked away from the Qun.
Ah, confirmed.
Hey! Come on. Over here's where I practice.
Why not on the beach?
The birds just ate. Scare them any more than you already did and they'll be crapping everywhere. What the crap is that?
The Antaam must be marking their territory.
Not on my beach. Vashvatari! Come on. These banners need to burn.
What? Why does she need Rook's approval?
Okay.
Nice! What does it feel like when you breathe fire like that?
It's more like spitting.
Ugh.
Something inside my throat opens up and lets stuff mix together. Then there's this rush of heat as I roar it out.
Oh, I'm surprised it doesn't hurt your mouth to do that.
It can. One time my tongue got in the way. Got a mouthful of fire.
Ouch.
Didn't hurt much. My mother has to make food extra spicy so I can taste it.
I guess that's the trade-off for being a fire breather.
It's fine. I smell stuff better than most people.
A poem about a cat. I don't think dragons purr, not even softly.
An Antaam supply cache. Too bad it's locked up.
Not for long. Watch.
Hit it, Tosh. Wow. It burned right through it.
Yep. Melt some metals, not all.
How would you figure out which kinds of metals you could melt?
My mother said I went through a lot of spoons as a baby.
Can you imagine a baby suddenly spits fire at you as you try to feed her a bottle of milk?
This way.
More birds to feed?
Something like that. Karash, it's Tosh. I brought food.
Avatosh, it's good you came early. The feather clouds are getting lower. It's going to rain. Who is this with you?
This is Rook. They're a friend.
A friend. All right. Make sure you both dress for rain. Drip rain, not mist rain.
Nice to meet you.
And you.
Karash was a worker caste navigator. Got dragged along with the Antaam when they invaded.
They told us it was ordered by the Qun. I was not taught war. I was taught the weather. Red clouds for thunder, gray clouds for rain, green clouds for the devouring storm, and black clouds for the Antaam cannons. After what they did in Ventus, I ran away.
Is there anything you need? We saw that the Antaam were in the area.
Yes, I knew some of them from the dreadnought where I worked. I know places to hide. They did not see me.
Let me know if they give you trouble.
I am at peace, Avatosh. I have the clouds to watch and fish to eat.
More than just fish. Here you go. Shathan said to eat the fruit before it spoils.
I like the cookies better.
Everyone likes the cookies better.
I'll eat the fruit. Thank you, Avatosh.
Panahedan. I'll see you soon.
So, the dragon hunter has a softer side.
The Qun says you take care of people.
So, you're a little Kunari, a little Ravani, and a little dragon?
Yeah?
I get that.
Come on. I should tell my mother how Karash is doing. So how do you get it?
I lived in a town before I went to Arlathan Forest and joined the Veil Jumpers. And I had to leave that to help stop Solus. So you take what works from each part, right?
Yeah. I had to take Kunari language classes growing up. I had to learn how to tie these stupid knots. It wasn't so bad when the Kunari and Ravane were at peace. Now the Antaam have broken from the Qun and started attacking. People look at me like they're scared I'll switch sides.
That's their loss. People who've only ever been one thing will never know how big the world is.
Yeah? Maybe.
Tosh provides more context in her multicultural heritage than in Rook's story. The race I chose for them didn't give off the same type of response as Tosh. So is Rook saying that they were originally some sort of town elf before turning into a Dalish veil jumper, or has always been a Dalish elf living in a town before becoming a veil jumper? There's only a handful of towns in the entire Dragon Age series, and most of them are on the Ferelden side, so I can headcanon that Rook and his parents lived in a remote town of, say, Warren, to whom they were slaves of a human mill owner, let's say, until Rook grew up to want to seek his elven root among the Dalish and then joined the Veil Jumpers. That's sort of the headcanoning without the full-on immersion.
Mother, what are you doing here?
You used to call me Tama.
I also used to wet the bed. Want me to start that up again?
I'd rather you didn't.
Look at Rook's face.
Because she's sleeping in my base, which means I own the bed. I'm actually next on laundry detail.
She always did like the mouthy ones. In truth, Avatosh's tastes are quite varied, although it is uncommon for her to be attracted to men.
Mother.
Perhaps because in some ways, she acts more like a man herself.
Why are you here?
I came to ask Karash about the tablet your group recovered. I wondered if some of the symbols might be used among the Antaam.
Be gentle. Don't make him talk about the war.
I see the wisdom of your suggestion. I also see that you used your fire again. Chakra Toebra.
Chakra Toebra.
Remember to keep your consonants crisp. Kunari do not slouch, and neither does our language. Panahedan, Evitash. You did well bringing Karash his food.
Sorry. She's like that.
I'm trying to figure out why Tasha's mom can be so caring and protective on one hand, but catty on the other. If she misses Quintar and her life as a scholar, she might be harboring some resentment.
She's very involved in your life.
Yeah.
It was nice to meet Karash.
Yeah. It was.
That's the type of family dynamic I'm familiar with. Sometimes it's not out of resentment. In some culture, insults in front of friends and family serves as helpful criticisms, which I'll never understand. I made my Rook taller and leaner than the average, and yet Rook looks so mousy standing next to Tosh. I like she's more buff than the female Kunari I've encountered in Inquisition, but it's just the size difference between her and Rook is so funny. 2 points. Let's get more fire. And the passive.
Tosh, see what you can do.
I hear the signal, but what does this open? Where is it? I find it funny that the building would be in ruins, but the chest remains ornate and pristine. Don't you think that guy will hear that? Didn't hear the ladder either.
Ready for a fight? Okay.
Door's sealed, but I'll bet the Wardens left a clue around here to open.
Died from diarrhea.
Open it.
As you say.
They're dead now!
I'm a little lost.
Gotcha.
Can't do this without a wisp.
Hey, another puzzle.
I'm on it. Huh. Looks like we made a door.
Ibos, Marasem, Imakata, Katapestari. Marivos Antaam.
Trouble ahead.
Where's the wisp? I lost the wisp.
Hassan, now! Epsa, Isa.
They've got us at range. Take them down.
Good to go here.
Finish it.
We're clear.
I know it's the same model as the Cormac Master, but I really love that design. Can I jump down with the wisp? Nice. Oh, I got it now. It's a timed quest, isn't it?
Look at that. A sight you never see hunting in the deep roads. I'm in the wrong business.
Yep, that's for sure. Alright, let's try this puzzle again. Ah shit, that's the wrong way. I'm feeling slightly nauseated. I don't do well with fast, curvy movements through narrow corridors. Oops, not here. I'm horrible with directions. Sorry, folks. I'll figure this thing out. There you are. The spirit butterflies remind me of the manhwa, a Chinese term for manga, titled Heaven's Official's Blessing, in which hundreds of spirit butterflies morph into the Ghost King. Neato. I'm still a bit motion sick. I'm sucking down lemon tea to get my stomach settled.
There. Whatever the warden sealed, we've opened.
Oh, Crooky Tail. I won't spoil the story for you, but read The Last Flight about Grey Warden Garahel and his griffin, Crooky Tail. It's kind of weird to have an outfit for Tosh in here. This codex also relates to the story The Last Flight. I know, it's not helpful, and the synopsis in DA Wiki is really short. Speeding through this to save some time. It's always better to read the whole book or have it read to you if you are a lover of audiobooks to the story The Last Flight. Amazon is restricting Kindle books, so you'll have to source out the digital copy you can actually own somewhere else. I'll provide a link to the longer synopsis I found in the description below. Let me see what else I needed to do here. I get sidetracked easily. Oh, right, the crows. That's why I wanted to come back to Ravane in the first place. Duh.
Heard you took Rook to see your mom.
What? No, she just showed up.
Awkward. You're trying to be badass for the boss and save the world, and there's Mom.
Correcting your posture.
And how I pronounce words.
Even better.
Stupid. Whatever. Ugh.
I bet they'll hook up since Rook is smitten with Nev.
I'm on it.
Another puzzle. I hope it's better than a narrow corridor since it's in the open.
Wonder if they could spare a few waterfalls for the Anderfells.
Ah, dang it.
What? How?
Yep.
Googling this. Oh, very cool. The page from a log was about a Canary Grey Warden. Interesting. This explains a lot why there's a Canary outfit in the Grey Warden's treasury. Even though it said it was for Tash, the outfit would have been unisex.
Here they come.
Let's go!
Take him down!
You know, I really wish there's a better explanation to the origin of Rook's skills based on class and faction than just magic leaking through the damaged veil. So my headcanon for the WWE-inspired body slam and the miraculous phantom blade drops is due to exposure of some ancient elven relic as Rook was exploring through an underground ruin that supercharged his rage into a temporary detonating force, similar to my ex-Templar Inquisitor who uses their divinity to summon the power of Smite. Can you tell how much I've been thinking about this?
These are the crows that were supposed to be picking up supplies.
Looks like they were ambushed.
Looks like the Antaam got the supplies that were meant for the crows.
Let's take back those supplies. Pay the Antaam a visit.
Hey, you had any luck tracking that thing that took your griffons?
The Gloomhowler? Not yet. Why?
You want help? We could go back to where it took him. Maybe I could catch its tracks.
I've been over the spot a dozen times. If there were tracks, I'd have found them already.
All right. Good shot!
Better be ready.
Coming at range!
They're dead now! Now put him down!
A win for us.
Got company.
As you say. Finish them off!
Get clear! A longer quarter's coming in a mail any day now.
Should help.
Take him out!
One of the crows is still alive.
The Antaam kept me alive so they could use me to trick Ravane into sending more supplies. I didn't think anyone was coming.
The Lords of Fortune wouldn't abandon you. It's the least we could do for the crows.
Thank you for your timely arrival. I'll get the supplies to Treviso and pay back the Antaam there.
Now, I felt this way when I was questing in Marathis, in which the expectation that players will follow the quest lines in a linear fashion creates a disconnect, because this is the third time I've been in this area and the prisoner locked in the cage wasn't here earlier. For a player like me who loves exploration, I can easily get sidetracked. The issue for me isn't about how open or closed the entire game world is, but rather the challenges of the linear order of discovery and completion of the quests within a specific zone. So having to do quests in a certain order or in a specific way throws off the logic. I completed what I needed to do here, so let's mark off my next destination. Alright. Overall, I think the Ravane Coast is pretty cool. It offers a very different landscape and terrain to scale and jump around. There's probably more hidden areas that I don't know about, so I'm excited to return, especially to meet others from the Lord of Fortune. I'm not feeling the nausea I had earlier, which is good. I'm that bad, so it's why I have Rook move so slowly if there's a lot of turns. However, I don't get motion sickness during combat, which is weird. It's the same thing when I'm in a car, I would get sick, but I'm totally fine on a roller coaster. I can't explain it. So on the history of Ravane, there was no mention of a Grey Warden fortress in this area or Grey Wardens in Ravane in general, so it's a nice surprise to come across a ruin. The Canaries arrived in this region from Parvalin in 632 Steel and eventually occupied it. Over the next decade, many people in Ravane converted to the Qun, meaning the Canary felt the threat of the Blight prior to their arrival in Ravane, and the Canary they sent to join the Grey Wardens potentially fought in the Fourth Blight, which was led by the Archdemon Andorral in 512 Exalted. The book The Last Flight covers the entire event. The codex about the Canary Grey Warden said that he helped kill an ogre coming up through the volcano. Tosh did say that the fortress was abandoned due to a volcanic eruption. Do you remember the stream of magma below the ossuary? Guess where the ossuary is located? It lies beneath the waters of Rialto Bay, somewhere between Treviso and the Ravane coast. It all ties together. That's all for now. Thank you for joining me, and please press the like and subscribe for more Dragon Age content. My life might get super busy starting near the end of May, so the format of my playthroughs or the frequency of the uploads might change. I don't know yet, but I will definitely let you know. Be sure to return to check out my next playthrough on recruiting Emmerich. See you then.